Patrick Mahomes, Rashee Rice, and the Kansas City Chiefs head to Orchard Park to take on James Cook, Josh Allen, the reigning MVP, and the Buffalo Bills. Now, this is a highly anticipated matchup. It is every season because these two teams have been two of the best teams in the AFC, and they play every season and have played in so many playoff games at this point with Patrick Mahomes and his domination. And absolutely needs to be said, don't be saying we can't bring that up. It is important to note every time they go head-to-head that these are the two best quarterbacks in the NFL. I will say that emphatically. I say it with my chest. Also, what I say with my chest is I wish I had James Cook on my fantasy team last week. Who's got him in fantasy? Raise your hand. Well, I don't. I wish I did. This man had over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day against Carolina, and then the defense is able to put up 7 sacks. Andy Dalton did not have a chance in heck to win that game. The Kansas City Chiefs, well, they went up against a former Heisman Trophy winner in Marcus Mariota, a home game on Monday Night Football. It felt like such a fun matchup. Jaden Daniels against Mahomes, and then you find out Daniels wasn't going to play. Even for Chiefs fans, I really think that they wanted to see that matchup and get the Commanders at their best. Do I think that Washington would have won that game with Daniels? I really don't. Team's been dealing with a little bit of injuries. They got a couple guys back, a nice touchdown catch from McLaurin. But Kansas City dominated that game up front. They only allowed 60 rushing yards. They ran the football for 150, 5 yards a carry. Patrick Mahomes, did he struggle? He absolutely did. And I think that it is a bit favorable for him that Buffalo's got injuries right now, and we have to talk about those, especially in a preview and a prediction video with Buffalo. So in the back end and that secondary, right, you're looking at Taylor Rapp being on IR. He's not available, and so a couple weeks ago they brought back Jordan Poyer. He'd been good for a long time with Buffalo, so they bring him back. He's a former All-Pro, 34 years old. Obviously knows the Bills' defensive system and Sean McDermott, so he's a guy you can plug and play. They also brought in Jordan Phillips. And then Deon Walker out of Kentucky. He was a pick in this draft that I liked for the Bills. They really went heavy on the defense. Maxwell Hairston had a nice debut as well. But Walker, I want to say, is a second because TJ Sanders, their second-round pick in the trade back with Chicago, where they traded up, right? They took him. He'd been playing fine, and then he goes down. And your best defensive player, Ed Oliver, he goes down, and he just bounced back. And I was having a nice day against Carolina. He had a sack, 2 tackles for loss, and now he goes down with a torn bicep. He could be out for the rest of the season. Very tough guy. You know, he'll try and make it back either late December or for the playoffs. But you're dealing with a lot of that. So you're looking at the rookie, Deon Walker. He's got to step up against the Kansas City Chiefs. But frankly, I would not be honest to tell you if I thought that if the Bills were fully healthy, I think that they have a good shot to win this game. It's at home, the way they're running the football. And then defensively, in order to get pressure up the middle on Mahomes, to stop the run really well, guys like Ed Oliver and a younger player in TJ Sanders in there in the back end with Taylor Rapp. There's just a lot to be missing in this game against the Kansas City Chiefs, who are hot right now. There's some hot teams like the Colts and the Broncos right now, but they are one of the hottest teams, let's just say that, in football. Getting Rashee Rice for them is like seeing a sunset after you've been just at work all day in an office without windows. You come out and you got the drive home. Maybe it's an hour drive back, so it's still tough, but you get to watch the sunset kind of come down there. It's one of those things that's beautiful for your team. You get a nice little scenery. Maybe it's tough. Maybe the Chiefs still have to play some football games. They know it's tough to win in this league, but you do get something nice to watch for you if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan. And I think this is a guy that makes the Chiefs immediately a team you have to respect as a Super Bowl absolute contender, no doubt. They've been to 3 in a row, but maybe the favorite's starting to materialize right now after 0-2. They're 5-1 with Rice back in the lineup and Xavier Worthy fully healthy. This team has an element to their passing attack. Travis Kelce with his best game of the season, 100 yards, 6 receptions, and a touchdown. Him and Mahomes back on track. This offense coming together in a great way. And then the success on the ground. Kareem Hunt, and Isaiah Pacheco, this team is starting to hum, and it's all coming together for them, and it's the perfect time to do that middle of the season before a massive matchup. I mean, this could wind up deciding them getting the 1 versus the 2 seed, the 2 versus the 3, the 3 versus the 4, which is the difference, if we're all being honest here, which I try and be every single video that I make with Blitz with Blender, is that's the difference between playing at Buffalo or playing at home in Kansas City. Look, the Chiefs have gone to Buffalo and beaten them there, but getting them in your own building, you know how much more you'd rather have that game there, the implications of that. Now, who can throw a wrench into the plans here that the Kansas City Chiefs can get a road win in the regular season? Josh Allen. And his ability to take over these games in the regular season as well as in the playoffs in previous matchups is remarkable. He puts the team on his back. He's got this fully healthy array of weapons with Kincaid and Dawson Knox. And these tight ends are a real weapon when you come out with 12 personnel. And you're really balanced. Him under center is really where I love this Buffalo offense, because he's such a threat on the perimeter with his legs to run, but also outside the pocket, rolling, and you get Kincaid on an over route, and then you've got James Cook in the flats, and behind that you've got Keon Coleman running vertically down the field, and the options of Josh Allen, his processing now, it's just a triple, quadruple threat that you have to deal with, and with his mobility and ability to throw on the run, that's a lot of what I do against the Kansas City Chiefs. Look, you have to put off the Chiefs, and in the middle of that defense, of course, is Chris Jones, still one of the best defenders in all of the NFL. To mitigate his impact on these games, you got to try and move the pocket. It's a double team here, and getting Mahomes off of that spot in the middle of the pocket where he can just rush up and impact every single play. He's the type of guy you have to know every snap that he can impact that play, and you're, as a play caller, changing what you're doing based off of his alignment and what he can do to affect the game. For Patrick Mahomes, look, there's not anything I can say about Mahomes that hasn't been said already. And these types of matchups are why we love football. Josh Allen and Mahomes going at it in early November battle. It just feels like these games have more feel to them than if it was October, or if this game were September. It just feels bigger once it hits November. It's like, okay, we're halfway through the season now, or just about. This game is more often than not a tiebreaker for the race. And Mahomes has been a version of himself that doesn't look like a 30-year-old guy. This looks like a younger version of Mahomes that is done hearing the chatter about this team and is doing whatever it takes to win games. Putting his game on the line early in the game to go pick up a first down. Rushing the football, I can't remember his entire career. Maybe back to his rookie season, He's attacking with his legs and getting those 3 to 4 off-script first downs that every offensive coordinator talks about. I talk about it in a lot of my videos about good quarterbacks with the mobility and what coordinators look like. Mahomes has done that at a superb level. He maybe threw 2 picks against Washington, but I don't exactly mind that. I think that element of attacking and going at teams, one of them by the sideline, look, the throw was a little bit towards the inside of the field, and missed his guy. And Sanders Stoll, from former Michigan Wolverines, second rounder a couple years ago, he made a nice play on it. Got to give a guy credit. Sometimes guys get paid too, and they make nice plays. I don't mind a game like that. He had a very nice completion percentage, right? He was completing a high amount of his passes. He was attacking every blade of grass. And man, when Travis Kelce can impact games like that and be that wide open, and also you can go to him late in the first half, they went to him on the touchdown to begin the second half. That they go to Kelce. It's just a different element. And Kansas City is really at their peak when they have the firing of their outside threats, but also you pair that with the future first ballot Hall of Famer Travis Kelce. Now the run game, there's an importance on Isaiah Pacheco to run this football well. I believe that limiting possessions for either team is quite important. When you got these types of quarterbacks going at it, you can't be a confident Buffalo fan at this point and say, hey, I don't care. You see the Chiefs now and what they've been able to do lately. You're like, all right, this is the bona fide Chiefs. We're in for an absolute fight to the death, a slugfest, physical, one of the tougher games you'll absolutely play this season. And it starts up front in stopping the run. How nice would it be for Kansas City to take the crowd out of it a little bit with the play action and the running ability of Mahomes, with Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt and this duo now in the backfield picking up yards, with the trickery they like to use and sort of the sweeps and the reverse action that they get with Worthy and Rashee Rice, getting them the football, as well as the extension of the run. Look, when you have players with this type of speed on the perimeter, man, does that help you get easy completions. Mahomes getting the football out to a Hollywood Brown, to Rice, to Worthy, just 6-7 yards is that extension of the ground game, because teams are lining guys up 9-10 yards off the ball. You absolutely get the football to them. This is a tough matchup for this Buffalo secondary. I talked about who they're missing and who's been injured. I'm leaning towards Kansas City, not just because of what they've looked like lately, but because you have seen a Buffalo team. I'm not throwing out their past performance against Carolina, but I guess it's funny. They're both playing, the two backup quarterbacks the past week, and both of them looked good. But the injuries, right? You got a Kansas City team that's getting healthier right now, and a Buffalo team that isn't fully healthy in this type of matchup. I think that's important. So I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs with the win on the road, 27-24. I believe it comes down to a late drive. It could be a tie game, 45 seconds left. Chiefs need a field goal to go get the win, and they got to rely on Harrison Butker. A game like that, I think, is what everyone would like to see. Obviously, if you're a Bills fan, you don't want to see a loss, but you just love these types of close games between the two future Hall of Fame quarterbacks. These guys are as good as it gets. I know Tony Romo is going to be out of his mind having so much fun when he breaks these down on the on-air broadcast. It's pure popcorn. For me breaking this down, I just love that I'm able to do this, and I hope that you guys enjoy. Let me know down below, who do you think wins this game? And I put in too much stock into the injuries for Buffalo, and also what the Chiefs are looking like and this momentum they've built up. Do the Bills have something I haven't talked about already that you believe that they can lean on here? Am I missing out on that? Let me know down below in the comments here. One thing for Buffalo is with this team, I talked about the tight ends. I'm really high on a kid like Keon Coleman and how he can change foundationally what you can be in the red zone. Of course, the tight ends get action, and Khalil Shakir's been sort of the go-to target for Josh Allen. But an outside threat, a jump 50-50 ball guy that is going to get his one-on-ones. You can't really double Keon Coleman at this stage with the amount of balance that this Buffalo offense has. Does Keon Coleman come up with one of those? Is there a spot here? You're looking at a 3-point game in the third quarter. Buffalo's got a 3rd and 7. Instead of extending the lead only by 6, and then Mahomes takes the lead, they can get a 10-point lead in that third quarter if Keon Coleman comes down with the pass. I think he's the type of guy that can change a game, being able to make those plays as opposed to not to. And that's what you have to rely on sometimes in these ones to beat a team like Kansas City or have that caliber. Your best players are up-and-coming guys you're starting to rely on a little bit more, have more faith in. They just got to go out and make those plays. So can Keon Coleman make an impact like that? That's one of my major questions, because Kansas City, and they can beat you so many different ways. I just can't come up with one guy. It'll probably be Trent McDuffie on him. Can't wait for that matchup. Can't wait for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe for more Blitz with Blender content. I am Josh Blender. Appreciate you so much, and I'll see you next time. Best player in college football. That Georgia and Ohio State game, New Year's Eve, is going to be a classic.
Josh Blender. Hi, everybody. I'm Josh Blender. To the 40, 35, 30. Espinosa to the 20.